Okay, the last video got interrupted. From here, if we continue on, I have 6 plus the square root of 68 divided by 2, 6 minus the square root of 68 divided by 2. So now I go in the calculator and I have 6 plus the square root of 68, and you'll press enter, divided by 2, and you get x equals 7.12. The other one, I get 6 minus the square root of 68, enter, divided by 2. I get x equals negative 1.12. Those are your roots. Okay, let's try another one. Right here, pause the video and see if you can find the roots. Well, first off, before we can do anything, we have to solve and make sure that it's all in standard form. I need my x squared to be positive, so I'm going to move these to the other side. So I subtract 5x from each side, and I get x squared minus 5x equals 9. I'm going to move the 9 to the other side, so I'm going to subtract 9 from each side. I get x squared minus 5x minus 9, and it equals 0. Well, now this is all in standard form. I have a is 1, b is negative 5, c is negative 9. Now I'm going to take this information and put it into the quadratic formula. So I have the opposite of b. b is negative 5, the opposite is positive 5, plus or minus the square root. It says b squared, negative 5 squared, minus 4, remember 4 is always in the formula, times a is 1, and c is negative 9. All over 2 times a. Now, go to whatever's underneath the square root sign and find out that information first. So I have negative 5 squared minus 4 times 1 times negative 9. And I press enter. It is 61. So I will have 5 plus or minus the square root of 61. 2 times 1 is 2. So I have 5 plus the square root of 61 divided by 2, and 5 minus the square root of 61 over 2. So now I'll go in here and do whatever's in the top first. So I'm going to put 5 plus the square root of 61 and press enter. Then divide by 2, and I get 6.41. That's one of your roots right there. The other one, I'm going to come over here and put 5 minus the square root of 61 and press enter and divide by 2. I get x equals negative 1.41. That's my other root. The next one, oh, there's not one written here. Let's see. Let's come up with another one since we got interrupted in the other thing. Let's try this right here. Well, it's already in standard form, so you can pause the video and see if you can come up with the equation. Oh, my paper's moving on me. So right here I've got a is 2, b is negative 6, c is 9. Well, the opposite of b will be positive 6 now, plus or minus. Now in here it goes back to the original b. Negative 6 squared minus 4, remember that's always in the formula, times a is 2, times c is 9. All over 2 times a, 2 times 2. Okay, so now we're going to go and put this in the calculator right here, and I have negative 6 squared minus 4 times 2 times 9, and I get negative 36. Now this is going to come up with an interesting fact. 6 plus or minus the square root of negative 36 over 4. Well, if I have 6 plus the square root of negative 36 over 4, and 6 minus the square root of negative 36 over 4. When I go to put this in the top, I have 6 plus the square root of negative 36. It's going to give me an error. It's going to say no real answer. That's because we cannot take the square root of a negative number. So in this case, there is no real solution. Now, a lot of times before I do anything, I'll go and I'll put this in the calculator. So I go up here and I'm going to put in there 2x squared minus 6x plus 9, and I'm going to press graph. And if you look at this right here, the parabola does not touch the x-axis. That's why there's no real solution, because there's no x-intercept anywhere on here. Okay, the next one, let's try this one. Okay, so there's the formula, and it is already in standard form. So let's find a, b, and c and substitute it into the quadratic formula. So right here, I have a is 2, b is negative 6, c is negative 7. So now I have the opposite of b. If b is negative 6, it changes it to positive 6, plus or minus the square root. I have b squared, negative 6 squared, minus 4 times a times c, all over 2 times a. 2 times 2 is 4. Okay, so now we're going to go and put this in the this underneath the square root sign. Let's put that in the calculator. So I'm going to put 6 squared minus 4 times 2 times negative 7, and I get 92. So I'm going to have 6 plus or minus the square root of 92 over 4. So let's see, we have 6 plus the square root of 92 over 4, and 6 minus the square root of 92 over 4. So right here, I have 6 plus the square root of 92, press enter, divide by 4, so x equals 3.89, really that rounds to 0.90. You could put 3.89 for right now instead of writing all the decimals. The next one, we have 6 minus the square root of 92 divided by 4. I have x equals negative 0.89. Well, really, if you round it, it's negative 0.90. Those are your two roots. Another one, we have 2 more. Okay, so right here, pause the video and come back and see how you do. Well, the first thing we have to do is we have to put this into standard form. So I need to subtract 8 from each side. I get 3x squared minus 2x minus 8, and that equals 0. Well, a is 3, b is negative 2, c is negative 8. So now, the opposite of b, the opposite of negative 2 is positive 2, plus or minus the square root. B squared, negative 2 squared, minus 4 times a is 3, times c is negative 8. All divided by 2 times a, 2 times 3. So again, we are going to do what is underneath the square root sign right there. And I'm going to go over here and I'm going to put negative 2 squared minus 4 times 3 times negative 8, and I get 100. So I'm going to have 2 plus or minus the square root of 100 all over 2 times 3, which is 6. Well, 2 plus the square root, 100, of 100 divided by 6, and 2 minus the square root of 100 divided by 6. Well, I have 2 plus the square root of 100 enter, divided by 6. Well, one of my roots, I'm sorry, but put divided by 2. Let's try that again. 2 plus the square root of 100 divided by 6, and that gave me 2, so x equals 2. Then I have 2 minus the square root of 100, enter, divided by 6, and my other answer is negative 1.33. Those are my two roots.